Now, Labor's defence spokesman Stephen Conroy has urged the federal government to authorise Australian Navy ships to sail past islands in the South China Sea and planes to fly over them.
This follows the ruling of that international tribunal that China has no legal basis to claim historic rights in the disputed area of the South China Sea. Labor Senator Stephen Conroy joins us now from Washington as well. Senator Conroy, good morning. Welcome to News Breakfast.
Good morning.
Now, China's issued a white paper overnight asserting that China's sovereignty over the South China Sea and its islands have been established in the long course of history and are solidly grounded in history and law, it argues. So what should Australia's response be?
Well, the tribunal ruled that it could find no such evidence and no such basis, and that's the final arbiter. China, even though it refused to participate, are a signatory to UNCLOS. And through those artificially created islands, China have been trying to assert that it has a 12-mile limit around these features. And what has been found is that's just completely illegal. So Australia should stand up for the international system. It should be prepared to authorise our military to fly through or sail through what are now free waters as determined by an international tribunal. So Australia should stand up and support the international rules-based system, and that is vitally important for Australia with all the trade that we do through the region.
Yes, you called for that yesterday, and you accused China of or wanting Australia to stand up to China's bullying tactics. The Foreign Minister, Julie Bishop, has accused you of escalating tensions in the region at a very tense time. Are you doing that just to score political points?
Not at all. I've been arguing this for some time because Julie Bishop continues to pretend that Australia has been engaging in what's referred to as freedom of navigation operations, or FONOPs. And when I've questioned the Department of Defence officials at Senate estimates, they've made it very clear they are not authorised to enter into any of these disputed areas. And so it's important that Australia clearly state its position and not have these all talk but no support for the international rules-based system.
Well, not even your own Foreign Affairs spokesperson Tanya Plibersek appears to agree with you. She's warned against unilateral action here like that. So what's really going on with this solo effort of yours at the moment, Stephen Conroy? Are you appealing to somebody else? Are you trying to communicate with somebody else via the media with these calls?
No, not at all. We are absolutely on the same page. Bill, Tanya and myself are absolutely on the same page. I've seen Bill Shorten's comments. I haven't seen the comments you're referring to.
Well, if I can just jump in there, Senator, and I apologise for doing so, but the comments that Tanya Plibersek has released in her statement, she warned against unilateral action in response and said the priority should be de-escalating tensions and resolving disputes. Now, authorising the Australian Navy and the Australian Air Force to then fly right through those 12-kilometre zones is exactly that. That's escalating tensions. So why would you want that?
Well, no, look, let's be clear. The country that has escalated the tensions is China. China, over the last 2 years...
Yes, but we're talking about our response to that
has sailed an oil rig into disputed waters, has declared a fishing zone in disputed waters, has built islands, militarised islands, and been engaged in ramming other ships, even as late as last week, to stop them being in these waters. It is China who has escalated this. This decision exposes China as having no legal foundation, and Australia should be prepared to stand up for the international rules-based system.
Well, it's quite possible that we could actually receive that request from the US to join them in some way in more patrols through the area. Sorry, if I could just ask you this.
This is not about joining the US in doing anything. I've explicitly said previously, I don't believe we should participate in a flotilla or anything like that. We should make our own decision that we want to support the international rules-based system, because Australia has been a major beneficiary And those countries that are able to support the international rules-based system should be prepared to demonstrate it, not just talk about it, but demonstrate it.
Okay. I just wonder, though, if that call was to come, you're then suggesting you would not be happy for Australia to be part of a joint mission, if you like, or joint exercises or observation in the area with the US military.
No,
you want Australia to do it entirely solo?
No, I've made that clear previously.
Okay.
This is not about joining with the US. This is about Australia's support and open and active support for the international rules-based system, as has now been shown that China have no legal basis for the claims that they've been making.
Now, can I just ask you a couple of questions on the election, which finally seems to be decided? What has to be done, do you think, in your party to turn around the second lowest primary vote that Labor's recorded in 70 years?
Well, firstly, we got a swing towards us, and we went very close. Only a few thousand votes in a few seats saw us fall short of winning the election. Both parties have seen that there's now a greater desire for people to vote for the two, not for the two major parties. So Labor put forward a very bold policy vision. Bill Shorten deserves congratulation, not just for how well he campaigned during the election campaign, but the policy. And that was put together by a whole range of shadow ministers, from Chris Bowen to Tanya to Jenny Macklin, and we went forward with a positive agenda for this country.
I'm sorry, Senator Conroy, to jump in there. I apologise, but my question did go to what do you think your party and indeed the Liberal Party needs to do to reshape itself, to turn around the fact that you're both recording almost record low primary votes. How do you get that primary vote up?
Well, as I said, firstly, I don't accept the basis of your question. We got a swing to us in this election.
Not talking about the swing, Senator.
We went forward. So our vote went forward. The number of votes we got was larger than last time. Would we have liked more? Yes, absolutely. And we've obviously got some areas where we need to do some work, but we've won 4 out of the 5 seats in Tasmania. We saw a substantial swing to us in Western Australia. We didn't do quite as well as we would have liked in Queensland, and I think the Queensland branch has said we need to talk about how we can improve our vote in Queensland. Obviously, Victoria's already at a historical high position. And in New South Wales, we won nearly, I think, 7 or 8 seats. So again, I'm not supporting the premise of your question. That's not to say we can't improve, but we put forward a very positive and bold agenda that was about putting Australians and families first and not supporting the trickle-down economic failed theories of a $50 billion tax cut to the richest in the community.
All right, look, we'll leave it there because we are running short of time, but thanks for making time for us this morning, Senator Conroy.
Good to talk to you, Virginia.